Okay, today's Sunday, April 16th, and I'm going to start out by today we're going to talk about some spreadsheets I use, some Google Docs I use to track altcoins and Bitcoins. But I want to start out by talking about a video that Carpe Noctem put on YouTube. And if you, Carpe Noctem Josh, he has just a ton of great content on his channel. He's got tutorials, he has almost daily technical analysis. Pretty much, any kind of person who's looking to get into trading cryptocurrencies, I'd always recommend his channel. But he put out a monster video this weekend, an hour-long analysis of all the different altcoins. And I mean, you just scroll through here and you can see the different charts that he put up, and he walks through, a number of coins with really great analysis. He's going to have a part 2 coming out. So if you don't subscribe, I recommend that you go click on the link, you subscribe to his channel, you watch this video, and then come back, because what he put out is such great content, and it'll really set you up for what I'm going to talk about in these spreadsheets. So I want to start out, prior to watching Josh's video, I had come to the realization that I really didn't have much of a strategy when it came to altcoins. I was just kind of jumping in and out and was really undisciplined, painfully so. And I realized, I'm taking a little loss here and there trying to chase stuff, and those losses are adding up, and just not the kind of investing that I would normally do. So I decided that I need to start looking at this a little differently. And what I wanted to do was to do like an allocation, kind of like how mutual funds or big investors will take a look at a basket of commodities or whatever they're going to invest in. They'll take a look at that, and then they'll decide how they're going to split up their available funds into that basket. And then they'll hold that basket for a period of time. So I said, okay, this is something I need to start taking on in my altcoin trading, and really stop trading and start investing. So to get started, I created the spreadsheet. I only put an hour or two into it. I didn't know that there was something else out there called the Ultimate Altcoin Day Trader Spreadsheet. Now this looks really, really, really nice. I didn't buy it. I don't have it. I just looked at the screenshots. It looks really great. I may end up buying it. I think it's zero point 0.1 Bitcoins. I don't know this person, but I found it Googling, and after I'd already kind of set mine up. And if you're looking for something really, really robust, go straight to this. It looks like it's still, a valid website. Still, you could still buy it. I haven't seen anything that says it's a scam. But if you're looking for something maybe a little simpler and something that's free, then feel free to make a copy of this. I'm going to put a link in the description. Okay, great. So now, what is this? This is basically like you would. Let's just start from the top. Let's say that you had 50 Bitcoins, just as an example. And you decided you want to take 20% of your Bitcoins and invest them in altcoins to diversify. Well, then you would take 20% of 50 would be 10. So you would say, okay, I'm going to invest 10 Bitcoins. So you put 10 up here in this yellow box. And then you would come down here and you just start filling in however you want to allocate that. And what you want to do is this needs to equal 100. So you'd put 20% in Ethereum, maybe 20% in Dash, maybe 10% in Litecoin, and maybe 10% in a Monero. And let's say you put another 10% in Ardor. So, then you would have, you'd have 18% in Clam. However you want to do it. This is not a recommendation. When you do that, then it's going to tell you the number of Bitcoin to invest. So it's pretty simple, right? Not too difficult. And then you would put in what are the number of altcoins you got in return for your 2 Bitcoin investment. So you're going to put 2 Bitcoin into Ethereum, and you're going to get X number of Ethereum back. So you'd put that here, and then you'd put the current price. Now, unfortunately, I looked last night to see how I could auto-calculate this. It's a little more work than I want to put in right now. So it's manual. This is actually manual, but it's not too painful depending on the number of coins you have. You would have to update it every time you wanted new numbers. Anyway, so the spreadsheet will auto-calculate your dollars, it'll auto-calculate your Bitcoins, and it will auto-calculate your profit loss. So again, this is just a simple way for you to kind of decide and look and play with numbers and how would I want to allocate 10 Bitcoins? Where do I want to put them? it would give you a structure to, have some discipline around how long you want to hold them. So, you would allocate these 10 Bitcoins and then you'd say, okay, I'm going to hold these Bitcoins until, for 3 months or 6 months. And I expect, whatever return. And then just kind of forget about it. Know that you had a plan and then check your plan in a month or two. So that's a crypto allocation. I'll put a link. You guys feel free to copy it and use it for yourself. Another spreadsheet that I use is what I call the Bitcoin. Well, there was a website called Bitcoin Savings Plan. It's unfortunately no longer in existence, and I can't find a link to it. But before it went out of existence, I created my own version of it in a spreadsheet because I like to control my own stuff. So really quickly, what you would do here is you put in the number of Bitcoins that you own. This is total Bitcoins. So the idea of the Bitcoin Savings Plan is you would have a number, and then it's almost like a retirement. How many do you want to take out at what price? Some people use working capital for Bitcoin. I don't recommend that. You shouldn't use anything you can't lose. But the reality is some people do use their working capital. So, how would you invest in Bitcoin and also set a disciplined strategy to withdraw at a certain point so that you could live off some of the funds? So let's say you had 25 Bitcoins. Your average buy price is $500. The rake is the number of Bitcoins you want to take out at every price target. And then the multiplier is how quickly you want to move the price. Okay, so stick with me. That's a lot of info I just covered. I'm going to give you an example. So our average buy is 500. That equals this number here. If our rake is 0.2 and I have 25 Bitcoins, that's going to tell me to sell 5 Bitcoins. That's 20% of my 25. So I would sell 5 Bitcoins when the price hit $750 because my average buy-in price was $500. So I would take out $3,750. This would be my total number of dollars I've taken out. This would be my percentage of Bitcoin, and this would be my total out and in, etc. Okay. These numbers look like I might need to correct it. I'll correct those numbers when I link the spreadsheet. It looks like those are a little off. Okay, great. So then the next one would be the same. So then at 1125, I would take 4 Bitcoin out. Then I'd have 16 remaining. Then the next level at 1688, I'd have 3.2, and then I have 13 remaining. And these numbers will all change based on how you change the rake. So if you wanted it to be different numbers here, you want to be more conservative, you want to take more out, that's going to make a difference. Okay? So you could change it to a cycle multiplier of 2 would be 1,000, 2,000, 4,000. That's pretty aggressive. A cycle multiplier of 1.5, 750, 1125, 1688. Those are your price targets. When your price targets are hit, you sell this number of Bitcoins. You have this number of Bitcoins remaining. You have this much money remaining all the way up. So if it gets to $20,000 roughly, you will have taken out 70,000 and still have 111,000 remaining. So hopefully that makes sense. If probably may be easier for you to just use the spreadsheet for yourself and see how it works. But that's all based on. Okay, so the other tab on the spreadsheet that I wanted to talk about is how I track Bitcoin. So this is all sample data, but the idea here is that you can track your own Bitcoins in a Google Sheet. So you can get an idea of, how your Bitcoins are doing. And as long as you just use the public addresses and not any private keys, I don't see any big issues with it, like being safety or problem or anything like that. So this was based off of a forum post that was on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin forums, not Bitcoin Talk, but some other Bitcoin forum, and it's no longer in existence. So again, this is an idea that I saw somewhere else, made a spreadsheet, and I can't even link back to the original source. So thank you for whoever inspired this, but this is, I have a sheet like this for my actual addresses. So I have a hardware wallet. I use a Keep Key, but I have all the addresses recorded in a spreadsheet. And it just gives me peace of mind to be able to see the balance on a spreadsheet without having to plug in my Keep Key, because I always know what's going on. And then another thing I do is whenever I have a new address, I subscribe to that address through BlockCipher. And then that way, if there's ever a change on that address, I get notified. It's also nice because if I send a Bitcoin, then I know when it confirms, because BlockCipher will send me an email when it finally confirms. So if I send something and it takes 2 hours to confirm, I know I get the message and I know, oh, that transaction took this amount of time to confirm. So BlockCipher is kind of cool for that. So what is this? Basically, what you would do is, like, let's just say that you had some Bitcoin addresses. Like, this is sample data, so this was an address. You can click here, and it'll take you to blockchain, and you can get all the details on that address, the transactions, etc. So that's one thing. You just put the address in here. This will automatically become a URL. It'll check blockchain.info to see how many Bitcoins have been received, how many have been sent. It'll calculate the balance, and it'll calculate US dollars. So let's say that you are lucky enough to be on the Bitcoin rich list. So let's just say that let's see here if I can. So you'd put in the address. Everything's going to auto-calculate. It's going to say you've received 124,000 Bitcoins. It's going to say you sent less than one. There's your balance, and there's your balance in US dollars. So, what you can do is you can start to record all your different addresses. You can name them. You could have this be like petty cash or whatever you want to call it. You can have it be your blockchain wallet, your Coinbase, etc. So you can name them so you know what they are. You put the addresses in. And then if you send and one of the addresses becomes empty, you just delete that address and then add whatever new address you got your change on. Again, this is just a really simple way for anyone who wanted to track where their information was. Another tab that's on this sheet, which I'm not really happy with, it's a lot more difficult to create, and I think this is where that ultimate altcoin day trading spreadsheet becomes more useful, is trying to track anything around buys and sells. For me, it's kind of difficult to create this, but it's here. If you want to use it and improve on it, feel free. And then lastly, the last tab is just a 2-year trend. So this is part of the spreadsheet. It calculates the Bitcoin price for the last 2 years, and it shows the trend line. So here's the trend line, and we've mostly just been, we've been obeying it. We've been up and above it, below it, but overall the trend is intact. So those are the spreadsheets I wanted to share with you guys. Please comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If there's probably better solutions out there that I don't even know about. So if you've got something that's better than this, let me know, because maybe I'll use that instead. But thanks for watching, and look forward to your comments.